Hey, how's it going? I'm IlaGolden and welcome to my vlog. Okay, alright, so I have the Fanflu hoodie on once again, which must mean it's Fanfluation time. Yay! Alright, so kind of in the vein of what I did with the YouTube one, I kind of want to sort of do more general discussion type thing in regards to what I'm talking about this time, and that's going to be video games and sort of how I got into video games and the types of video games that I prefer to play and the types of video games that I prefer to watch other people play because that's part of my gaming culture, my personal gaming culture. Um, so I was born at the end of the 80s, which means I grew up in the 90s, and the 90s is kind of when video games took that transition from kind of what they were to kind of what they are now, and sort of don't necessarily say that gaming culture developed during the 90s, but the seeds of what it is now definitely much more prevalent in the 90s than they necessarily were earlier than that, even though I know video games have been around for longer than that. Um, so I can remember the first house that we lived at, that there were definitely video games that we sort of played, and I don't necessarily remember any of the names of them now, although I'm pretty sure Pac-Man was one of them, and I'm pretty sure I was good at Pac-Man. But I'm also pretty sure that they were sort of, if not necessarily PC games, they was definitely played on a PC type monitor rather than on the TV. But then you are talking about very, very, very young me. I'm not necessarily, fully aware of what, but I do know that we did have like certain things around back then, because my dad was very much one of these people who was like, technology is the future, and wanted to make sure that we were sort of prepared for that. Certainly as we got older, having a PC was something he considered, highly important, because he thoroughly believed and was kind of proven right that computer technology was going to be something that you kind of needed to know about, even on just like a basic level, to be able to function in what was going to become the modern world, the world that we've got now. So if you think about, the development of technology through my lifetime, yeah, he is kind of right to make sure that that was sort of there and that was sort of available for us. And the fact that that also included, computer games, which was sort of roughly aimed at our age group, that definitely took a hold and definitely made sure that we sort of had the kind of interest and the kind of reason to want to be interested in it. And then my older brother first of all got himself a Game Boy, and then he got himself a SNES. When I say Game Boy, I definitely mean one of those big brick things, and I actually have his original Game Boy. I don't know if it works anymore. He had one of those, battery pack things that you can plug in and charge, and I'm pretty sure that doesn't work anymore. The Game Boy itself, I'm not sure that it does function. I know not the screen, but the screen cover falls off. um, but yeah, no, when he would let me, there were certain games that we or I would play on that, like Othello and Tetris and Castle Quest, and I actually got quite good at Castle Quest at one point. But again, it was only, I was allowed to play on it when he would let me play on it, or if it was something that we could play together. And the same went for my younger brother as well, you know. And certainly when it came to the snares, we were only allowed to play with his permission, because these things technically belonged to him. Although as we got slightly older, there was a large period of time, certainly after he got his N64, that the SNES ended up in my room, and then eventually the N64 ended up in my room, because my older brother didn't actually, well, he enjoyed playing video games, but it kind of became much more my thing. So I ended up with his N64 and his SNES. I've got his Game Boy, even though I actually ended up with a Game Boy Color. I've got my younger brother's Game Boy Color somewhere. I've also got both of their Game Boy Advances along with my own. I just kind of ended up with the accumulation of all the games and you know, systems that we sort of had as kids growing up. But for the most part, I mean, there are a few games that I had, like my Pokemon Snap and my Pokemon Stadium games that I lent to my younger brother when he got a N64 of his own, and I've never seen again. But other than that, I pretty much ended up with most of the things that we sort of had growing up, because I was the one who kind of had the biggest interest in it. I had friends who would come over, we'd play computer games together, or I would go over to theirs and either watch them play computer games or play computer games with them. I have very fond memories of using or being with one of my dear friends, and us creating music tracks using Music 2000 or music on her PlayStation, or me sat there watching her playing Final Fantasy X and us making fun of dialogue and of the character names and wanting to write a parody fanfic of the story, and various things like that. So for me, having friends, and again, this is the one thing that for a long time I thought it was more normal for girls to be into playing video games than it was for boys, because all of the gamers I knew were girls. And yes, the consoles had, a lot of the consoles had originally belonged to my brothers. You know, the GameCube was originally my younger brother's, and again, that was something I don't have. My younger brother did actually keep that one, but I had a couple of games for it, so he did kind of lend me his GameCube for a while, but he did eventually take it back, although I don't think he has it anymore. But apart from my brother's sort of passing interest in it, and having an uncle who sort of had a passing interest in playing video games, most of the people I knew who were playing video games were girls and not boys. So it kind of all felt a bit more weird to me when I sort of grew up and kind of realised that gaming culture is thought of as being more of a male thing. Because I was kind of like, I don't think being a girl gamer is weird. Why is being a girl gamer weird? But now I can kind of see it now. But I think there was just something about gaming and something about video games and something about that sort of outlet which kind of appealed to me more than it did to my much more social brothers. And maybe it's the fact that I'm an introvert and they're extroverts. Maybe it's the fact that I did get tired very easily, and I did get times where I just wanted to do something that was not as strenuous and I didn't have to think so much about, and wasn't reading or watching TV, and was social enough that me and a friend could do it together and it not cost so much energy. And they were fine just doing whatever. As I said, a lot of my fondest memories with my friends growing up was playing video games with them. Things like uh, playing Perfect Dark with the same friend that I played music and Music 2000 and watched her playing Final Fantasy X with. She and I used to play Perfect Dark together, not the actual main mission stuff, the challenges in the multiplayer mode. We would just spend hours playing challenges in the multiplayer mode because we were just trying to get as far down the list as possible as it got harder and harder, and we enjoyed doing that. It was something we could do together that didn't require as much skill as the main missions, because I'm not very good as a first-person shooter. But doing that sort of more tactical thing and working out ways of sort of doing certain things and finding your ways around these sort of very limited maps, and working with whatever limitations you were given for that particular challenge. Yeah, we enjoyed doing that. We had a lot of fun doing that. Having said that, I'm primarily a handheld gamer these days, and part of that is because I do get quite motion sick playing console games. Um, Due to certain health things I've had going on, I have suffered from vertigo in the past. I do get dizzy spells. So moving cameras can make me feel unwell, and it's one of the things I find, because I do. I've always enjoyed watching other people play games, and it's one of the things I sort of mentioned, I think, in my YouTube one, is I do watch, let's plays and gamers playing games, and live streams and things like that, because I love watching other people play games. But anything first person, I'm more listening to that person playing the game than I am actually watching it, because it does make me feel quite unwell. Some more than others. It depends on how steady they are with that damn camera. um, and so part of the reason I do tend to lean towards console gaming, not console gaming, handheld gaming, as sort of my primary, is because handheld gaming rarely gives me motion sickness, and that's because handheld gaming is rarely in first person. You rarely have a moving camera, so that just makes it a lot easier for me to sort of play and play continuously and get a great deal of enjoyment out of. So likewise, I tend to steer towards the RPGs and anything that's not going to be like too much going on at one time, because I want to be able to enjoy what I'm playing. And if what I'm playing is making me feel unwell, then I can't really enjoy what I'm playing. Now, that's not to say that I don't occasionally console game. I do. It's just a much more limited thing for me. In terms of the types of games I pick when I'm playing console games, and how long I can play them for when I'm doing the console gaming. And it's again, it's still something that I really enjoy doing, and I do. But I'm primarily a handheld gamer, and I'm primarily a handheld gamer for it's the easiest thing for me to play and get a good deal of enjoyment out of. So something like that. So yeah, my sort of thing with gaming is that it's something I definitely think can bring people together. I mean, a lot of the enjoyment that I got out of it when I was younger was just as much playing it with my friends as it was doing things on my own. Likewise, I like most genres of games, but I only play a select amount of games, because that's what I prefer to play. But if somebody else is playing it, then I will enjoy watching it. I might not necessarily feel completely well while watching them play it, but you can kind of get your head around watching somebody else play it for a longer period of time, even if it's making you unwell, than you can if you're playing it yourself. Because as soon as you start playing it yourself and it's making you feel unwell, your concentration goes really quickly. Whereas if you're watching somebody else, you don't necessarily have to concentrate in the same way, because you're not worrying about how it's going to affect your gaming. You can sort of, not necessarily look at the screen. You can like close your eyes for like 10 minutes and listen to what's going on, and you're not going to get yourself killed from doing that. Or fail the mission, or whatever else it is that happens to be, the thing for that particular game. So yeah, I love the fact that I can watch other people playing games that I couldn't necessarily play myself, either because my skill level's not very good, or because of the type of game that would give me a sick headache and motion sickness and whatever else. So yeah, yeah. Yeah, I that's my gaming culture and my gaming experience, and my gaming history, and whatever else you want to sort of call it. And I know this has been a bit odd and all over the place. It probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and very, very rambly, but I think I've done that a lot recently. So yeah. All right. Okay. So the next one, my next vlog, is going to be on the joys of editing, considering that it is almost the end of July and I am still editing Hyena Boy, when I was kind of hoping it would be ready by this point. There have been reasons, there have been very good reasons, and I will probably mention them in the next vlog. But anyway, next one on the joys of editing. I hope this one has at least been energetic and fun to listen to, even if it's been a complete mess of me going a bit all over the place with everything and being a bit unfocused. But if I spoke with focus with every single one of these fanfluations, I would quickly either get bored with the style and the format of it, or I would run out of things to say. So, anyway, hope you've enjoyed this one. Hope you're looking forward to the next one, and I will see you guys next time. See ya. If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to check out some of my others, and if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. See ya!